Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Mrs. Moore, where me, Mrs. Moore, gets into all of those relationship conundrums because sometimes we don't need to dive deep. Sometimes we just need some good advice, some straight talking, and some common sense. And this is the place where I get to find out what's keeping you awake at night, what's worrying you about your relationships. And I can give you some advice based on me as a therapist, but also just on me as a woman in my 50s, living life, got some thoughts. So hopefully, this is a place where we can see if things are as they should be. Are we following the right relationship etiquette? Are things appropriate or are they not? Okay, so very interesting. Lots and lots of messages coming through. So I've taken one where one of our lovely messengers, they've been together a long time. So you say you've been together 14 years. Okay. So nowadays that's a pretty long relationship. You've got children together. Everything is good. We're not really in crisis, but things in the bedroom have lost a little bit of spark. Perfectly normal. Okay. Long-term relationships and intimacy is a discussion that in the relationship clinic space happens a lot, but actually between the people involved generally doesn't. You'll be surprised. You choose to spend your life with somebody, you get more intimate with them than anyone else, but then you don't actually like to talk about it. Okay, so you would like to approach a conversation, you'd like to try something new, you want to spice things up, and I say, congratulations, darling, absolutely. Well done, you, but you don't know how to approach it. You worry, you say that your husband might be shocked. I'm not sure he would be, to be honest. You might find that he's a little bit excited. You worry that you don't know how to talk about it with him. As I've said, this is somebody you have shared your life with. You have carried this person's children. Okay, you should be able to talk about what you do and don't want in sex. But we're not brought up that way, especially here. Very British, very popular. We don't talk about sex. So let's explore this. Okay. As I say, firstly, well done you, because when things lose their lackluster, when they get a bit lackluster in the bedroom, it can impact the relationship in lots of different ways. So the fact that you're wanting to put some vavavoom back into the bedroom is absolutely wonderful, and I applaud you for it. Now, there's two ways of approaching it. You can either have a conversation or you can choose to get practical. And you can simply look to introduce it in the bedroom. Be the instigator and be brave and just start to gently guide husband in the right direction. Sometimes that's easier because we're in the moment and it feels like it's in context. And you can always try with the lights out to start with. So you can have the kind of boundaries that allow you to feel comfortable. What I always say when I'm talking to couples about sex is focus on what you do like. So, one way of approaching a more conversation style, instead of saying, things aren't great in the bedroom and, this, say, you know what, I really love it when you, whatever it is he does that you really like. And I really love it when you, okay, so lots of praise, lots of enjoyment. And what I would really love is, okay, so there's no negativity in this conversation. There's nothing that's creating a feeling of, oh God, she needs me to do something different because she isn't enjoying it. When men feel that that's an issue, that can be a real turn off for them. And it can actually lead them to be more withdrawn. And that isn't what you want at all. So you want to focus on what you do enjoy, what's going well, and then gently introduce that. If you really feel that you can't either talk to him or practically introduce it, then think about why that is. What is it that stops you from having those conversations? Do you feel shy? Do you feel embarrassed? Because these are things that you can work on. These are things that you can get support on. But I would say, firstly, love the fact that you're introducing something new. You're not on your own. Many couples out there get to that point where life and children and all of that takes over and they lose that intimacy. It's really important to focus on that and give yourself that time together. Choose your time wisely, plan it. I know we want it all to be spontaneous, but that's not always the case, is it? In fact, actually, when you've got a house full and you've got jobs and commitments, you really do need to plan when you are going to be intimate because that way you can relax and you can enjoy it. So relax, enjoy, make sure that you've set the scene, and then gently start to introduce what you'd like. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised. Let us know, drop me a little note, let me know how it goes. And if anyone else has these kind of queries or questions, don't be shy, write in and ask Mrs. Moore. Take care.